The sharp crack of a stun gun shattered the serene morning air of Willow Grove Estates, cutting through the suburban stillness like a knife. Lydia Harper, a seasoned paramedic who'd sped past flawless lawns and orderly flower beds, felt a searing jolt rip through her body as she crumpled onto the pristine grass. In her decade on the job, she'd stitched gunshot wounds, restarted failing hearts, and walked away from a flipped ambulance, but never had she imagined being tasered by an HOA security guard while racing to save a life. Yet there she lay, just yards from Unit 119, writhing in agony, the patient's house tantalizingly close. She'd answered a desperate 911 call about a heart attack, every second a lifeline, only to be halted by Travis Boone, a guard wielding his taser as if she were a prowler, not a rescuer. Lydia hadn't processed it at first. She'd flashed her EMS badge, pointed to the ambulance parked curbside, its lights still flashing, and waved her arm, the bright red paramedic patch glaringly obvious. But Travis's face was a stone wall, his rulebook mentality unshaken. It was a cruel twist for Willow Grove, a community of postcard charm where retirees walked yapping terriers and neighbors vied for the gaudiest holiday lights, to morph into a scene of such horror. The call had come from Eleanor Grayson, a 76-year-old with a frail heart. Her husband, Henry, had pleaded with dispatch, voice breaking, "She's turning blue. Hurry, please." When Lydia and her partner Derek screeched to a stop, time was already bleeding out. They leapt from the rig, gear slung over shoulders, but before they could reach the Graysons' door, Travis loomed in their path. "You need clearance," he barked, hand on his taser. Lydia later testified, "I told him we had no time, an active cardiac arrest, but he kept shouting about HOA rules, gate codes, entry passes." Derek scrambled back to the ambulance, radioing the watch commander for urgent access, while Lydia faced Travis. Time thickened like tar. She could almost hear Eleanor's pulse fading. "Call your supervisor." Travis snapped, spit flecking his chin. "No one gets in without my say." "I am a supervisor," Lydia shot back, thrusting her ID. "Move." Before she could step past, he fired. Barbs sank into her chest, voltage dropping her like a stone. Tears welled unwillingly, her lungs clawing for air. Eleanor Grayson never got help. Her heart quit minutes later. The county coroner, arriving too late, sealed her in a body bag. Word tore through Willow Grove like a brush fire. This wasn't a place for petty squabbles over hedge heights. It was now stained by a death caused by a blocked medic. Travis told investigators, "We've had break-ins. I was protecting residents." But disbelief and fury erupted. How could he taser a uniformed EMT? Local news seized the story, airing shaky porchcam footage of the clash, punctuated by that chilling electric snap. The Willow Grove HOA board, Paul Whitaker, Ellen Sims, and their clique, faced a storm of scrutiny. They'd hired the security firm and enforced rigid entry rules. No one, emergency or not, passed without checkpoint clearance. To residents, it was a fatal overstep. Wrongful death screamed every headline, hinting at criminality beyond tragedy. Lawyers swarmed Henry Grayson, and after days of mourning, he vowed to sue the board, his voice raw with grief. At Eleanor's funeral, storm clouds loomed as the board huddled in their plush clubhouse, its grand windows framing flawless courts. They projected unity, but panic gnawed inside. Some feared personal ruin if the suit won. Others blamed Travis's idiocy. "If he'd used his head, we wouldn't be here," Ellen hissed. Across town, at County General's ambulance bay, Lydia sat with a sling-bound shoulder, nerve pain flaring, filing charges against Travis, bracing for her own fight. Willow Grove would never reclaim its old glow. A week later, mowers droned past the stone gate, and silver-haired couples strolled, but tension seeped into every exchange. Neighbors lingered by mailboxes, trading hushed fears. Could this have been avoided? Travis, on leave, hid in his condo under police watch. Reporters staking out the clubhouse, mics poised for any slip. "No comment" became the mantra of a once-proud enclave. The board flailed, posting online defenses. Travis's act an isolated misjudgment by a guard who misread procedures. But Henry's suit named them all Paul, Ellen, and more, blaming their rules-first ethos. Few knew the backstory. Willow Grove had been a relaxed haven until minor crimes, a tagged court, a looted model home, spurred the board to ditch volunteers for a private firm, adding gates, cameras, and armed patrols. Fees spiked, residents grumbled, then bought the fortress pitch until Travis pushed it too far. Now, cracks split the board. Paul, scarred by a youthful mugging, had championed strict safety, but post-tragedy, his phone buzzed with rage. What if it was my mom? Why that psycho guard? His replies rang empty. Lydia, in therapy for her arm, relived the taser's bite, her job's sanctity shaken. I've got to get back out there, she told Derek, who carried guilt for staying in the rig. They visited Henry, offering support, his resolve sharpened. The boards hid behind rules too long. Eleanor saw their power grab, he said, tears falling. With attorney Clara Bennett, Henry built a case, unearthing HOA memos, fee hikes, safety rants, proving control trumped care. Residents rallied. A petition, Save Our Community, demanding the board's ouster spread via door knocks and Facebook. Paul got a flyer shoved at him. They'll run us out. What's the plan? He had none. The fortress was a liability trap. At depositions, Clara grilled Paul. Did you plan for emergency access? He faltered. Guards verified and opened gates. We didn't aim to block medics. Yet you gave Travis power to detain without sense, she pressed. Hours of testimony laid bare their rigid system. Insurance lawyers winced at the exposure. Outside, Willow Grove simmered. Neighbors debated trust versus paranoia, their haven fractured. Weeks earlier, Lydia had sat with Tom, a union rep, replaying the day. I yelled my ID. He didn't care, she said, voice tight. He thought rules beat lives. Tom nodded. That's their defense. Protocol. We'll shred it. She'd met Sadie, a neighbor who'd filmed the clash, at a coffee shop. I couldn't believe it, Sadie whispered, handing over her video. Travis was unhinged. I'm testifying. Their alliance grew. Sadie joined the petition, rallying others like Jim, fined for a shed, and Ruth, sick of gate delays. Meanwhile, Paul tried Henry at home, leaves unraked, a black ribbon on the mailbox. This suits a tragedy for us all, Paul said. Henry glared. My wife's dead. Your guard tasered help. We can settle, money, an apology, Paul offered. Disband your board. Fire that firm. Fix the rules, Henry countered. Paul wilted. His peers wouldn't bend. I'll see you in court, Henry said. The trial was a quiet tempest. Derek detailed the blocked run, Lydia's fall. Experts said Eleanor's odds plummeted without aid. Travis, disheveled, deflected. I followed orders. Security was everything. Clara pinned it on the board's militarized culture. Paul wavered. We didn't mean this, but evidence. Unpermitted tasers, rigid protocols, stacked high. After 2 days' deliberation, the jury ruled. Willow Grove HOA liable for wrongful death via negligence, awarding steep damages. Henry clutched Eleanor's photo, relief bittersweet. The board stood shell-shocked. Their fortress had fallen. Willow Grove shed its armor, security axed, gates eased for medics. Paul resigned. Some board members sold out, fleeing disgrace. Ruth led a humane watch with police ties. Lydia returned to duty, honored by EMS, her scars a badge. Henry funded an Eleanor Grayson Paramedic scholarship, shunning fame. Rules can't kill compassion. The HOA dissolved, a trust-based council rose. Willow Grove healed. Gates symbolic, not barricades. Travis faced assault charges, a fading echo. A block party, open, unguarded, sealed the peace. No codes, just neighbors. Henry found solace in change, Lydia in purpose, their victory final.